Hi, and welcome to our masterclass on composing for the didgeridoo. My name is Tanya Fraser, and I am the Artistic Director of Southern Cross Soloists. We are a company in resident at the Queensland Performing Arts Centre in Brisbane, Australia. And I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land upon which we meet today and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. I'd also like to thank the University of Queensland School of Music and Liam Viney for hosting today's workshop, and to Arts Queensland for supporting this initiative. We have been very lucky over the last 2 years in Southern Cross Soloists to have had Chris Williams as our artist in residence. And because of this, we have been performing a lot of chamber music works that include didgeridoo, as well as commissioning new works. And something that became apparent was that many composers haven't actually composed for the didgeridoo and actually don't know that much about how to write for the didgeridoo, how to notate for it, and the incredible variety of sounds and techniques that the didgeridoo can add to any composition. We're particularly lucky to have Chris to help us with this because besides being a didgeridoo soloist, Chris is a professional trumpet player in the classical realm of orchestras and chamber music, having performed across Australia and overseas, and he's also an accomplished jazz trumpet player. So he's a very unusual musician with incredible experience in variety in the genres that he plays in. Likewise, we've been very lucky over the last year to work with composer Sean O'Boyle. Sean is one of Australia's leading composers over the last 40 years. And again, he comes from a very diverse background, both as a jazz clarinet player and a classical player. He has composed for orchestras, for chamber music, for film and television, for the Olympic Games opening ceremony, and also for musical theatre on Broadway and the West End in London. So we're very excited to have the both of them here today to let us know a little bit more about the didgeridoo. And from my perspective as the artistic director and someone who curates music for concerts around the country, it's been incredibly exciting having a didgeridoo in a chamber group. We're usually a very tiny group of, well, today we're 5 musicians, but 4 or 5 players. And in the traditional sense, we can't make that much sound and we can't create that much variety in what we do beyond the regular classical realm and European sounds. So having the didgeridoo has allowed us to extend beyond that, and that's what I've had the most joy about having Chris with us. We've been able to sort of add a much more cinematic element to what we do, much more incredible rhythmic drive that you could only get if you brought in a full percussion section. And I think the most important thing is it's allowed us to create uniquely Australian music with a uniquely Australian sound that no other country can emulate. Although we come from a European tradition with chamber music, being able to create a hybrid sound that anyone in the world would be able to tell comes from Australia is an absolute plus of working with the didgeridoo, and that's what we're hoping to achieve both from this masterclass and also into the future. I'd like to introduce you to the musicians today. We have Anne Horton playing violin, Carol Kowalik playing the cello, Roger Cooey playing piano, myself playing oboe, and of course Chris Williams, didgeridoo, and our composer Sean O'Boyle.
Hello everybody. The didgeridoo is a remarkable instrument, and my first real introduction to the didgeridoo, other than having heard it on some soundtracks and a few other things that, oh yeah, that's the sound of Australia. The very first one was in the year 2000 when we hosted a sporting event in Sydney, and I was asked to write the theme and fanfare for the broadcast. The brief was big bombastic fanfare, theme, something martial, and an Indigenous instrument. And they didn't tell me what Indigenous instrument it should be, but I was smart enough to think that should be a didgeridoo. So I wrote everything first, and then I thought, oh, we have to put a didgeridoo on this. And we recorded it here in Queensland with the Queensland Symphony. And I then met the then 17-year-old William Barton and gave him the track. He took it away for a bit because he couldn't read music at that time. And then we took him in the studio and recorded it. And I have to admit I was absolutely embarrassed that I had no idea how much this marvellous instrument could bring to a piece of music and create the magic. So William and I decided that we should write a didgeridoo concerto, and so we did. And how I did that is having getting William into my studio, recording how he thought of the sounds of nature and rhythms, and even some of his traditional songs, traditional music from his people. And so the didgeridoo concerto existed. Today, this workshop is not a blueprint of how to do it. This is just a set of ideas and how we have done such things on the way. And I've been very fortunate to have been in a lot of projects now with didgeridoo involved, including my friend Chris Williams, who I knew as a trumpet player, and the Southern Cross Soloists. So you have to imagine that the concerto for didgeridoo was for full-blown symphony orchestra, massive banks of percussion, as Tanya has said, and then didgeridoo. And so when Tanya said, can you just convert that into 4 musicians plus didgeridoo, that is quite the challenge. So we had to drill down into what was the most important elements to convey the music. And the most important element, just with the musicians supporting it, is having the didgeridoo being free to do what they do best, and that is give us the sounds of Australia. So now we're going to play the first movement of that, and it's called Earth, from the Concerto for Didgeridoo and Orchestra.
Wakka